If you grew up in Wisconsin like Belinda and me, you likely grew up going to supper clubs, those family-owned restaurants that served up relish trays, prime rib, and brandy old fashions. Back then, it seemed there was nothing hip about a supper club, but my, how that has changed. The supper club is having a moment. Belinda and I felt it was our obligation, our duty really, as Wisconsin natives, to find out why. Check this out. This is the newest supper club on the scene. The Apostle in St. Paul, carefully curated to take you back in time to 1960s Palm Springs.
We really wanted to transport you and take you somewhere else.
This is owner Brian Ingram's 7th restaurant and his first supper club. At a time when so many restaurants are closing their doors, the Apostle can hardly handle all the people coming through theirs.
We've been overwhelmed in such a great way.
Thank you.
And what you found out, were supper clubs outperforming regular restaurants?
For sure.
When you think of supper clubs, you probably picture a place like this. This is Indian Head in Balsam Lake, Wisconsin. It opened in 1939, the golden age of supper clubs, that period after Prohibition, when hundreds of supper clubs popped up, mostly in rural areas across the Midwest, offering guests made-from-scratch food, stiff drinks, and live entertainment. Jeff Potts and a business partner purchased Indian Head last summer and learned quickly their clientele savors that nostalgia.
The number one thing I heard when we bought this is, don't change anything. We love this restaurant. Please don't change it. And we haven't.
Ingram wanted the Apostle to have that same vintage feel.
I wanted to be super intentional, from the glassware, the plateware, every piece of silverware, every light fixture was almost obsessive. And it's just a place that it's comfortable. It maybe reminds you of Grandpa's house or your aunt's house or something.
Wiederholtz near Hastings, Minnesota is literally Grandma and Grandpa's place. Started by Harriet and Cy Wiederholt in 1958 and now run by their grandchildren, the brother and sister team of Jesse Wiederholt and Jenny Pine.
What do we have here?
Okay, so this is a pink squirrel, which is cream to almond flavored liqueur and ice cream.
Jesse, what's this?
That's a grasshopper, so same ice cream and cream to mix.
Every weekend, they serve up the supper club staples, big slabs of prime rib, relish trays, and sides, and sell these iconic ice cream drinks by the gallon, using a recipe that's been around since the Nixon administration, and ringing it all up on cash registers that have been around even longer.
They're 4G, fourth generation.
I mean, they're literally made so well. They just cha-ching, it's the sound of money.
And lately, there is one drink making more cha-ching for supper clubs than any other.
Jamaican, Mark.
Old fashions.
Indian Head bartender Mark Ferguson has muddled so many oranges in the last 2 years, he's starting to worry about his rotator cuff.
How many old fashions is that?
Just 10.
10 old fashions coming up.
We started the night with 14, they're all gone. And we haven't even gotten busy yet.
Becca Palm, his partner behind the bar, says the renewed passion for the old-fashioned is part of a bigger trend.
Definitely have noticed a lot more younger people the last few years, and they're drinking old fashions. They're getting experimental with their old fashions, and they want to know what the old supper club drinks were, like the old Harvey Wallbangers and the Manhattans and all of that, all of it.
This renewed interest is being fueled by social media, with TikTokers,
favorite Wisconsin supper clubs,
and Facebook groups.
Here's how to do supper club on a budget.
Promoting supper club hopping as a hip new hobby.
This will be my 55th of all supper clubs, because they are about 250 in the state of Wisconsin.
Keith Arnold is an administrator on the Wisconsin Supper Club Enthusiasts Facebook page, a group now 81,000 strong. Members share their experiences traveling the state with supper club coffee table books in tow, and little orange cones they set on the table as an invitation for others to stop by and say hi.
And I tell you, every time that I put that out, someone's coming up and talking to me about it, yes.
Oh my goodness sakes.
And while the star of the supper club is supper,
How many of your specials are you putting out the door?
As many as we can.
that sense of community supper clubs create is perhaps the most important ingredient in their resurgence. While other restaurants may focus on how quickly they can turn a table, a supper club invites you to settle in and make it an evening.
For me, it's just a place to come, just unload all your cares in the world and just come relax.
And there are a whole lot of people who can drink to that.
Toast to Indian Head Supper Club. Thanks for coming in, you guys.
Cheers, Jeff.
Cheers.
Awesome.
Once again, tackling the hard assignments.
Yeah, it was heavy lifting. I'm having to
Nobody
say.
better.
She wrote it all. I basically just came along for the
Came
ride.
for the grasshoppers.
She even drove.
But I do want to say, we put out on social media, tell us your favorite supper club. We have so many great suggestions. They're all across the upper Midwest. Creekside has opened here in Minneapolis and South Minneapolis. We've got several that have opened in the Twin Cities area if you want to check them out. And it's usually like $30 for your prime rib and all your
All sides, yep.
And so you get the whole experience. It's not a la carte at the supper club.
That's the kind of thing I grew up with in
Yes,
Iowa.
me too.
Supper clubs.
Doesn't it make you nostalgic?
Taking family to supper clubs.
Yeah, near Prescott, it was the Virginian, and my mom was the head hostess of the Steamboat Inn, which was a supper club as well, with a piano bar. Mr. Patridge on the piano. I want to say hi to all the people watching at Wiederholtz, and I'm sure they're watching
Indian Head.
at Indian Head because I chatted with them today, and they said, "Oh, yeah, we're all here, we're watching." So I really
We
do
enjoyed
appreciate
it
that.
thoroughly.
Yeah, we had a good time, and there's lots of great suggestions. Let me say, all
looked
across the
great,
state
too.
and Wisconsin as well. There's
Food
250 of them.
looked
We
great.
need to keep going. I mean, I think
Our
maybe
work here has just
a
begun.
follow-up